All right, it's time. Let's get day 2 started with Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Future Redeemed Superbosses present with Pcol. Good luck and have fun.
I'm going to do some quick setup explanations. I'm not going to go over every little thing that we have, just so we don't waste a whole bunch of time. I'm going to show my gems and my accessories. So for Matthew here, I have Analyze Weakness, which is going to give me 40% extra damage on my critical hits, which is good. Boosting my damage dealt by 45% when I cancel, and boosting power of buffs by 35%. Which is good because Matthew gives a buff. We're going to boost my damage dealt outdoors. Every fight is going to be outdoors, so this is just a free 45% flat damage boost. And we're going to boost critical hit rate by 60% and lower target's break resistance by 25 percentage points. We'll get into break when we get into break, when we get to starting fights. And for A, I have increased physical damage. Dealing 50% but taking 30% less. A is not really built for damage, so we don't really care about less damage. But A is also a healer, so we want A to be taking less damage. And then reviving 100% of recharge for their own arts when they revive an ally, which is going to be helpful for a healer to have all their arts recharged. And then life-saving expertise for boosting speed of ally revival, soothing breath for reviving with more HP, and then extending duration of buffs, which is a thing we always want. For Nickel, we have boosting max HP by 700, so Nickel gets a lot more HP as a defender. And Soothing Breath, so we can revive faster, and increasing block rate because Nickel wants to block. And you saw on Gems he wants to revive faster. Nickel as a defender normally can't revive, because that's locked to healers, but for this memory locket that I have equipped on him, he is able to revive when he's normally not able to, so we want to have him revive faster. Boost damage from the front, because as a defender, Nickel wants to attack from the front, and increasing physical damage just a little bit more. And then basically the same things I have on Glimmer as A, recharge arts when reviving, boost healing arts recharge speed, and filling chain attack gauge on art execution. We'll get into chain attacks when I get into chain attacks. And then Glimmer has the exact same gems that I have on A. Shulk, I have Brimming Spirit, which is going to boost aggro generated. Shulk as a defender wants to also be taking a lot of aggro, so just going to boost that a little bit more. Boost max HP, and then boosting power of buffs. Break Brooch again, just like Matthew, boost HP again. And again, just like A, Shulk is not really built for damage, so we don't care about less damage, but we also want to care about taking less damage. For Rex, we'll be playing as Rex for most of this run, so we care about him the most. When he lands a hit, his damage will be dealing as though the enemy's physical defense is 30% lower than it normally would be. And then we're going to boost attack by 40%, and then boosting damage to launch enemies, so we'll get into launch when we get into launch. Critical hit damage bonus by 40 percentage points, boosting damage by canceling, and increasing attack. Niall, and we're just going to increase agility by a little bit, boosting power of debuffs. Debuffs are not very good in Xenoblade 3, but when we do get the debuffs up, that is going to boost their power and increasing their attack. And then for accessories for Niall, we're going to boost damage attacking higher level enemies, boost dexterity, and boosting damage out from the side because Niall wants to attack from the side. That's basically everything I'll explain in the menu for right now, but for now we can actually get into the run. And we can start time when I hit retry here, and 3, 2, 1, let's go. So this first one, I'm going to attack from the side first, because Rex has a skill where if I attack from the side first, he gets a free launch. Launch is very good in Xenoblade 2 and 3. His launch will increase your damage by 150% whenever it is launched, and the enemy cannot attack you back. So it's just a very good thing that you kind of want to be doing constantly as much as you can. The big gimmick of this first fight here is that it spawns a little extra enemies sometimes. So we're going to be dealing with a little bit of additional enemies when it decides to spawn them, and I got a break there, and I can try to topple, and I missed the topple, which is not very good. but I can always try to get breaks as much as possible. Matthew and Shulk are the ones that have breaks. A and Rex have a launch, or have a topple. Nickel and Rex have a launch, and I missed the break again, which is not very good, and I got toppled. So I'm just trying to explain what I'm doing here, but basically what this category is a category that I made up on my own because most Xenoblade runs are very long, they're multiple hours long, and I wanted a shorter run that would help me actually show off Xenoblade that would not take like 6 hours to do, because that would take forever even for a game that I like. So I made this shorter category just so I get a shorter run to do to show off a game that I really like. You can see my arts down here at the bottom. I have Agnes arts, which are diamond shaped and recharge by doing auto attacks, and that are on my right side, and my canvas arts on the left side that are circle arts and recharge over time. The big circle on the right side is my talent art, which will refill by doing roll actions, which are different things you can do depending on your role, if you're a healer, attacker, or a defender. We're mostly only playing as Rex, so we really only care about attacker roll actions. And now we're getting into chain attacks after I topple. Chain attacks give you 3 rounds that you can choose from that are each randomly. They give you 3 random characters to choose from, and you want to fill up the TP bar as much as possible. I am going to do Glimmer before I do anything else. So A and Nickel, I have a special thing on them where it gives me a guaranteed amazing rating, which is the highest rating you can get as soon as you fill up the bar. But they are unable to be used again, but I really don't care about not using them again after the one time because they are very bad at damage. So as long as we get to use them once, that's really all I care about. And I'm going to use Niall here because Niall has a bonus equipped on her where it will increase my damage bonus of the chain attack when Niall is used in a round. She doesn't have to finish the round or start the round or whatever, she just has to be used in the round to get the bonus attack, or the bonus damage, so you can see the hero chain there on the right side. And I should have toppled with Nickel there. I'm too busy explaining things to realize what I'm doing. But I have Rex here, and I used specific characters on purpose. I used Glimmer first earlier, and I'm using Rex here because Rex and Glimmer I have paired up for Unity pairings. I wanted to show off Unity pairings, but I just wanted to get through setup a little bit faster, so I neglected to show them off. But I have Matthew and A paired up, and Nickel and Shulk paired up, and Glimmer and Rex paired up. And what that does is they give you special bonuses when each character is paired up depending on the pairings that you have set up. And in chain attacks, if you use both of those, the paired characters in a round, you get an extra final round like this. For a final order, I am going to use Niall here so I can get the extra bonus and hopefully don't go over 100. Because 100 will finish the round, and I don't want to finish the round too early. Glimmer is going to give us buffs and lock me at 99%, and then I'm going to use Rex to go over, so I can get my 200% for this final round, and that is the first boss. This is the first super boss. Xenoblade super bosses are typically the higher level than you, but because this is a DLC expansion, only the final super boss is actually higher level. So this one starts at 60, and then it will get higher occasionally for each boss that we do. This next one is going to be over here, the Got Oracle Ruins. And then this next one is actually can be very annoying. This next boss loves to do a whole bunch of debuffs on you. Xenoblade 3 is really mean with debuffs. Debuffs really don't like to happen from the player, but they love to happen from the enemies. So this one will, exactly like that, will spread like 4 different debuffs on you and also lock at your chain attack gauge. So that chain attack gauge that chain attack that we just did for the first fight is not really gonna be available here, just because this one is very mean. And I'm it just went away, but it just came back. But I'm trying to stand inside an attack up field that Glimmer places down. That is going to boost my damage while I'm standing inside of it. Field effects are a new thing that Xenoblade 3 introduced, where you can place down fields for like evasion buffs and attack up buffs while you stand inside the fields. So that is a new thing that Xenoblade 3 introduced. And you can also see there on the health bar there is a little fire icon. That icon indicates when the enemy will get enraged, and when the enemy gets enraged, they do a whole bunch of extra power and buffs and all that stuff once their HP reaches that fire icon. Enraged technically was introduced in Xenoblade 2, but there was no indication of when they would get enraged in Xenoblade 2, so they improved that to 3, and I got a topple there, but I also just died, so I'm not going to get a launch. So I wasn't able to launch with Rex there because I died, but I also wasn't able to launch with Nickel because Nickel was too busy trying to revive. Which is kind of annoying, but, you know, that's the deal you gotta deal with sometimes. And Chain Attack is launched off again. And you can see me spamming double spinning edge here. Rex just likes to spam double spinning edge because Rex is broken. Basically the main gameplay loop of Future Redeemed is just spam with Rex until Rex dies and then revive Rex so he can keep spamming again. Which is very, very good for damage, but very sad for Rex because he just dies like 20 times per fight. But yeah, this kind of the basic breakdowns of Xenoblade combat is just do all your arts, do auto attacks to recharge your Agnes arts, and wait for Kev's arts to recharge. You can also see when I have both of my arts on the left and right side recharge, I can fuse them together. That is a new thing for Xenoblade 3 combat, where you get extra bonuses for recharge or for fusing arts. Future Redeemed actually kind of changes fuse arts, where you get extra bonuses when the arts are fused. And I missed the topple again, which is very sad. But you can see the rolling blast on the bottom will give AoE high HP damage up and AoE side launch. But now when they're unfused, it's just AoE and AoE side launch. So I don't get the high HP damage up when they're not fused together. So that's just one of the different things there. You do get different bonuses if you fuse different arts together, so if I fused Sword Bash and Dual Blast, it would give me a different effect. But just because of the way that I have my arts set up, I would prefer to have them set up the way that I do. Just because it's what works for me, but you can build your characters whatever way works for you. That's the magic of Xenoblade and RPGs as a whole. And this fight is going very badly, but okay, I'm gonna do a Unity combo here. I would have preferred to do it with Rex and Glimmer, but Rex just died and I don't have it charged. But I got the Maker Crash there. That is going to give Matthew an Awakening buff, which is a very good buff that you kind of want to get as much as possible. I don't know the specifics of the math behind Awakening. I am more of a Xenoblade 2 player, honestly, so I know more of the math behind Xenoblade 2 than 3. But this was the first game where I invented this Superbosses category for, so this is the one I'm doing. And it is almost there with my talent art here. I killed off the talent art, nice. So talent arts are a good art. Oh, before I do this, I need to fast travel with lightning because this next super boss only spawns while it's thunderstorming with weather, so I change it to the thunderstorm while I'm doing the fast travel, and we also have to run there because I don't want to fast travel directly to Tombstone, so I guess you have some time for a message or two, I guess.
Yeah, we have a $5 donation from Alara, who says, "Morning already? Guess it is time for more Prevent-a-Thon. Good luck to all of today's runners. And just as a quick reminder to everyone, we are still working towards, let me just refresh this, towards the Ultimate Tails mod, which is now sitting at $109 of the $125 required to upgrade that run. We got about it, but it is a Sonic block, which means time goes faster. So Make sure you get your donations in to support that target, as well as any of the wonderful bid wars, all 3 of them for Backpack Hero coming up later today.
So this next boss, I said it only spawns during thunderstorms. That is actually a reference. That is a reference to a certain unique monster in Xenoblade 1 that spawns during thunderstorms. In this same general area, because Xenoblade 3 is a big culmination of Xenoblade 1 and 2, so there's a lot of returning areas and gameplay and things. And you saw that I switched to Glimmer there. Switching characters mid-combat is a new mechanic that Xenoblade 3 introduced, which is very good. I'm gonna heal Math here, and you can see in action there the recharging Arts when I revive allies. The reason why I'm playing as Glimmer here is because I really don't kind of trust the AI with healing in Xenoblade, so for these next 2 fights I'm actually gonna be playing as Glimmer instead of Rex. So I am the one that is doing healing and placing down buffs and fields. This is not being very good to me right now. This boss fight, you can see, likes to put you to sleep. Sleep is a very mean debuff. So it prevents you from moving and doing all that stuff. Normally when you get hit, when you have sleep affected, it takes you out of it. But this boss fight also puts a pause debuff timer on you as well as the sleep. So the sleep will last longer and not take you out of it when you get hit by the enemy. You can also see that we're fighting in water. That is another new mechanic that Xenoblade 3 introduced. You cannot fight in water in Xenoblade 1 or 2, but thankfully you can in Xenoblade 3 finally. I'm just kind of waiting for everyone to wake up here just so I can actually do all my damage. I could probably switch to them and mash out of it, but they're probably almost out of it by now, so I'm just gonna keep playing as Glimmer here. I'm gonna try to charge up my chain attack gauge as much as I possibly can, and hopefully that I hope that I don't get put to sleep again, because this one is very annoying, especially if arts like that. Just like you have arts, every enemy has their own arts. Every enemy has a set of arts that they do depending on like the current health that they're at, or which enemy they're targeting, or where you're standing around the enemy. You can also see at the top of their health bar it says a weak with an arrow. That means it is weak on the side, which I am not taking advantage of, but I'm gonna chain attack before I do that. So chain attacks prevent you from dying. If an attack would kill you, it just leaves you at 1 HP, which you'll should be seeing in the next fight actually. But I'm just gonna chain attack just so I don't get sleep again for the entire party, because this boss fight really likes to sleep you as much as possible. I'm gonna do A here so I get the free 200% TP bonus for my heroic chain. So chain attacks kind of work like... chain attacks are dependent on what you have equipped for your chain attack accessories, which is actually a new mechanic for Future Redeemed, but the way they work for base Xenoblade 3 is that attackers get a 125 times bonus if they use first. Defenders get a 3 character back in the next round if they finish a round, and healers, just like I did there with Glimmer, will cap the gauge at 99%, so you can use an extra character to try to get higher TP. TP is given for things like critical hits and doing weaknesses, and using high HP attacks at high HP or low HP attacks at low HP. Just kind of like trying to optimize your setup as much as possible to get things. Like I can get like, you saw there like full HP TP plus 1 or whatever, so I got more HP or TP for doing an attack at full HP. And I'm gonna hit with Rex here just because Rex is broken. I don't really care about getting a Bravo rating here, just because Rex is already good enough without Bravo rating. The reason why you want higher ratings is to get more characters back in the next round, but also so that you can increase your damage bonus because it increases your damage bonus by more if you get a higher rating. I'm not going to use IO here because IO is going to go over, and I don't want to get over before I want to. We can do Rex here again, just delete half of their health bar. Also, chain attacks. I mentioned fusion arts earlier. Arts will always be fused during a chain attack, no matter what. So if you fuse two arts together, they will always be fused during a chain attack, regardless of whether they're fused or not in normal fights. Also, chain attack or arts with positional effects like back attack or side attack will always take effect during a chain attack, regardless of where you're standing with the enemy. So you can get a side damage bonus while you're in front of the enemy, which is very helpful. And then for this next fight is actually going to be another new mechanic that Xenoblade 3 introduces, which is a group unique monster fight. Xenoblade 3 introduces unique monsters that are in groups where you have to fight multiple unique monsters at the same time. So once this spawns in here, there's going to be this one, and then this one over here, and I'm going to do focus attacks so I can focus on one at a time. This fight is going to be the longest fight just because the breaks that I've been trying to do for each of these fights, these are the only enemies in Future Redeemed as a whole that are completely immune to break. So the break that I've been trying to do with the other fights won't even matter for these ones. This one is also annoying because you can already kind of see that this one that I'm attacking likes to run away from you, and this area is very not flat and has a bunch of like rocks and things that you can get stuck on. So it likes to run away into areas where characters can get stuck or not be in places that they want to be in typically, which is very annoying. So I'm going to try to get this one down to about half health, and then I'm going to switch to the other one. I want to try to manage health between these two at the same time because when you're attacking one, the other one tends to self-heal, so you kind of have to manage health between them. And then if you kill one, the other one will use a massive party wipe move against your entire party. So we try to want to avoid that. And I did mention earlier that chain attacks will leave you at 1 HP if you activate a chain attack before it kills you. That is going to be the main strategy for this fight. So once I kill this one here, where why is it being up there? See, this is what I'm talking about, where it likes to go in places it doesn't want to be in. So what I'm actually doing is I'm going to hit follow leader, and I'm just going to run all the way out here to try to like lure it back out into this open area and see if that will help things. You can also see here that I'm dashing. Dashing is a new mechanic introduced in 3 where you can click the right stick in to dash and get around the fights a little bit faster, which is very helpful, especially for fights like this where the enemy does stuff like that where it gets stuck on things and you have to kind of lure it to a better area. But it's also almost at half health now, so pretty soon I'm gonna probably switch to the other one. And the reason why I'm doing this one first is because the enraged symbol that I mentioned earlier is way lower on the health bar on this one than it is on the other one. And while it does downpour, then I'm gonna do talent art here. Talent arts typically have like a special flourishy camera around them. But I've actually turned that off because it is actually more optimal to turn off that camera. Why is that one up there? Okay, I'm gonna target this one and try to alert everyone up here if they can find their way up here. So it's actually more optimal to turn off the camera for talent arts because talent arts will typically have a camera effect on them, and while that camera goes off, if you keep it turned on, you will not be able to switch characters during a talent art, or and your Kevas arts will not recharge since they recharge over time. So it's actually more optimal to turn off the talent art camera so that you can recharge your Kevas arts and be able to switch characters during talent arts if you want to. I'm not, just because I want to keep playing as Glimmer, but you can if you want to do that when you play this game, because you should play Xenoblade because it's good. I will tell everyone that I talk to play Xenoblade. Just because I'm like that. And the arts that I'm trying to do with Glimmer here is I'm fusing Burning Ballad and Great Garland so I can boost my buffs, because that will give us a crit rate buff that will increase the crit rate, and a crit plus buff which will increase the damage of critical hits. And also Meteor Flame and Illusory Bloom is not really that good because it's just debuffs, and debuffs are bad in Xenoblade 3. But I'm still trying to do it just in case I do get them. And refilling Town Art for Glimmer is a lot easier since it refills based on the amount of fields that I place down. And I'm placing down a lot of attack up fields, so Glimmer gets to use Town Art a lot more than Rex normally would. Because Rex wants to refill Town Art with roll actions for attackers, and roll actions for attackers are just like critical hits and attacking the enemy, and they really don't feel as much as placing down fields for healers. And roll actions for defenders are just like taking aggro from enemies and blocking or dodging hits. I'm gonna run out this way while it's doing heat injection because that will place down a damage over time field that I really don't want to be standing in the middle of, especially as a healer. And that should hopefully maybe go away at some point. I will go back over there once it goes away. I can tell when it goes away because it just did, but I can also tell when it's there with the lightning bolt icon there. I think there's still some people down there somewhere, so A is going to go revive Niall down there because Niall wants to stay down there for whatever reason. So you can see just how slow this fight is. I'm actually going to switch down to this one a little bit because I feel like I've gotten that one down low enough. And then this one, you can see where its health is a little bit higher than it was earlier. So you can see the self-healing there a little bit. And it is actually about to enrage soon-ish, which is not going to be helpful. When this one enrages, it is going to unlock a new art called Scatterbind, which will be a massive AoE attack which will bind everyone. Bind is just a debuff that will prevent you from moving. And you saw earlier when I was doing the other one where it did sleep on me, you can actually mash out of debuffs debuffs like sleep and bind you can mash out of in Xenoblade 3, which you can't in other games. So if I do get binded, I can try to mash out of it to get out of it faster. And you can also see that me as Glimmer and Rex also just got hit by a no healing debuff. So now as soon as that debuff exists, then I cannot heal, or the character affected by it will not be able to get healed by anything. It also just did Scatterbind there, which thankfully did not do any binding to anyone, except for I think Rex, but that should be fine. I don't know why I decided to go over here. You can see for yourself how annoying this one is, and Rex died over here. And Rex also just got healed by me and A. If you have multiple healers reviving someone, it does heal faster. Not only in Xenoblade 1 and 2, if you revive someone, it uses part of your party gauge for chain attacks. But this game changes it just so it's a quick time event for healers, so you have to hold A. Okay, that one is dead, and I am going to attack it a little bit more before it does Kavesi Termination Order. That art is the massive party wipe AoE art that I was worried about and that I was talking about earlier. And I'm watching the bar above the health bar fill up. I'm going to place down one more field before it goes. I'm going to wait for that to fill. And I'm going to chain attack now before it does it. There is about a 5-second delay between the bar filling up for Kavesi Termination Order and when it actually does the art. So I maybe did it a little bit too early. I should still maybe be able to kill with this. 48. I'm gonna do Niao's for bonus. I'm not gonna do too much damage there because I don't want Niao to go over. And I'm gonna do A here, and you can see that it basically just put almost everyone to 1 HP with that attack, which is why I wanted to do the change hack as much as I could, or as early as I could, just so I didn't get my entire party wiped out by that. And I'm going to do Rex here because I've not done Glimmer yet, so I won't get the pairing yet. Because I don't want to get the pairing as much as possible, I don't want to get the pairing earlier than I want to. So I'm going to do Rex here. You can also see on every order that I do, there's a completion bonus. Whenever you complete an order, that gives you a party-wide bonus to whatever the specifications of the completion bonus is. I mentioned earlier, future redeemed, allowing you to change your chain attack stats. I have changed my chain attacks completion bonuses to what they are now. So with these current completion bonuses I have are not what they are when you start the game, but I have certain stuff equipped on them that will give them what I want. And I'm gonna do Rex here to just delete half of that health bar, just because Rex is the most broken character in Future Redeemed. Honestly, every Xenoblade game has at least one character that's extremely broken that everyone just spams. This is a bad pick. I'm gonna do A here just because I wanted Rex, but it's fine that I don't get Rex. Matthew and A is good enough. I would have preferred Rex and Glimmer, but just so we can see another chain order, I'm gonna do the one for Matthew and A. See, you can see how if you don't get the RNG characters you want, then it kind of messes with your strategy, just because it's just RNG. But Matthew and A is good enough if I don't get who I want. I'm gonna do Shulk there because I feel like with Matthew's 50 TP it would go over with the first attack bonus, so I don't want to go over yet. I'm gonna cap it at 99, and I'm gonna do Rex again to end it. And that is the second to last boss for this fight, or for this run. We have one more boss fight, which will be the final one and the only one that is actually over the player level cap of 99, which, like I said, is the only one in Future Redeemed that is like that, just because it's a DLC. But normally Superbosses in Xenoblade are higher than your player level cap, which is meant to be an extra challenge. But now we get to fight the final one, Fog Roller Abyssy here, which is also another reference to Xenoblade 1, where the final super boss in that one is Avalanche Abyssy, which is also a dragon enemy like this. It's not all orange and black like it is here. It's orange and black like this just because of lore stuff that I won't get into because we don't need to worry about lore right now. And I'm playing as Glimmer here a little bit. I'm going to switch back to Rex here while I can, while it's launched. I don't have a Unity pairing up right now, so I can't do a Unity combo while it was launched, which is bad, and of course it gives me one after. I can tell the Unity pairings that I have active by the circle on the left side. The big circle is the pairing of one of the characters that I'm actively playing as. The other two circles that are smaller are the pairings of the other two pairings that I have, and I can hold Z out here to show you with the other ones. So Mega Crash and Arrow Cycle in there. So I can tell who has it up and who doesn't. Also, every Unity pairing recharges by using arts. It recharges faster if you use fusion arts rather than normal arts. And you can get at least 2 Unity pairings up per fight. So you want to try to be doing Unity pairing as much as possible. And I mentioned earlier that they give Awakening status. The Awakening only applies if you do the Unity pairing while the enemy is launched. So if I did the Unity pairing earlier while I was toppled, then it would have not given me the Awakening. But I wasn't able to launch her because, again, Rex was dead and Nickel was doing whatever else. And I'm keeping my chain attack right now because I don't want to chain attack too early. I'm just going to let this hit me because it's going to probably bind me or kill me or whatever. So this one, you can see it likes to place down a whole bunch of damage over time fields. Once it gets enraged, those fields will have a larger area of effect. And it also likes to knock you back like that. Okay, I need to get to the front. Okay, it's toppled right now. I'm gonna shade attack now while it's toppled because I don't want to waste that topple and not be able to get it because this one super boss is very mad about break RNG. And you get topples by doing breaks. Hopefully does not go over. If you do break, topple, and then launch, you can get the full combo. There is also Daze and Burst. Daze does not exist in Future Redeemed, and you can only get Burst in Future Redeemed by doing Unity combos. So I'm trying to do break, topple, launch as much as possible just for the extra bonuses. And I want to do Maki here. I'm gonna do Niall again because Niall will go over and Niall will give me the Heroic Chain bonus. And I'm gonna do Glimmer to refresh buffs for crit plus and crit up. Nickel for the other 3 amazing rating for chain attack. I might not be doing too much damage yet, and I should have launched with Nickel, but Nickel... I don't like Nickel because Nickel's bad, so I forgot. I can launch with Rex. I will do A here because I don't want to use Rex right now, and I'm hopefully Niall doesn't go over. And I'm gonna refresh buffs again just to make sure. I think you might have seen it already, but in case you didn't, this boss fight also has a special effect where if it gets blocked, if it blocks any of your attacks, it does 1 damage. You can kind of see it there a little bit when doing A's attack. The reason why it does 1 damage when it blocks is because blocking already halves your damage by 50%. But it also has a 50% block rate. So 50% plus 50% is 100, but blocking only halves your damage. It does not give full immunity to damage, so they still allow you to do the damage, but the lowest amount of damage you can do is 1. So it just does 1 damage when it blocks. And again, I wanted Glimmer and Rex, but I should maybe still be able to kill with Glimmer and with Matthew and A. If this doesn't kill, I should maybe still be able to kill after chain attack. I have been getting very bad break resistance during my practice for this fight, because this one is always very mean. And it also just enraged here, and you can see when it enrages, it also has a spike effect where it does 100%. It does 100 damage every second in an area around it after it gets enraged. You can get rid of enraged, but you have to do a full burst combo to get rid of enrage. And like I said earlier, the only way to do burst in Future Redeemed is to do the Unity pairing attack while it is launched, and that it will be very annoying if it does not want to get launched. So hopefully I might still be able to kill after that failed chain attack. I'm not gonna say failed, it just did not. It did not do as much as I wanted to. I might have maybe chain attacked too early again, but that was fine. And now it's doing Fog Invocation, where it's gonna... Oh, it actually blocked... We got the break to block the Fog Invocation, which is... a secondary effective break is that it will stun the enemy for a second, and it will stop whatever action they are currently doing. So it was doing Fog Invocation, which would block off my chain attack gauge, like the other one. But because someone hit a break that got rid of its attack, and now it's not doing it. And I'm going to wait for Niall to get revived here because I don't want to chain attack without Niall, and I'm going to chain attack again before it does Demon Harging Fire. I'm going to do Shulk first because Shulk will recharge my chain attack gauge, and also give everyone Power Charge. Power Charge is a one-time use buff, which will increase the damage of the next art used. And it is a very powerful buff, even though it is one-time use. But I haven't, with giving this Power Charge from the completion bonus with Shulk, I get it for everyone for free. And I also have an art I have a fusion art pairing on Matthew that will give an AoE Power Charge to everyone, as long as they're standing next to him. And I'm gonna do Glimmer here again, and Niall to start with, so I can get the Hero Chain. And I'm going to do Glimmer just to get a little bit more before it goes over with Niall, or with Nickel. And this is going to be giving me my free 200 again. There are still characters with low HP just because of that spike effect, which is very annoying. But I should maybe still be able to kill without a break for this second chain attack. I have been able to kill this one in one chain attack before, but it has been being very mean with break RNG. But that is also why I have the two break resistance. I have the two break brooch accessories on Matthew and Shulk, just to try to lower that. 99, and then this should go over 150. And there is the Overkill. Overkill is a thing introduced in Xenoblade 2 where if you kill an enemy in a chain attack, you get some extra experience bonuses and things like that. And you can technically end chain attacks early in Xenoblade 3, which I probably should be doing for a run like this, but I just want to try to do as much as possible, just to show how to optimize Xenoblade, because I put too much time into Xenoblade, so I want to show it off. And I didn't want to use Niall there because Niall would have gone over and not done as much as Rex. And then that should give me a Glimmer and Rex final attack. I think Niall might go over, so I kind of don't want to use Niall. I'm going to use Shulk here just to make sure it doesn't go over. And I don't care about the Armor Veil because it's already dead. And then once this chain attack ends, that should be time on this run. After this final Unity combo pairing that I have here for the 218. So yeah, here's the final animation of this run. Let's go. If you do wanna find me on the internet in places, I'm on Twitter and basically just Twitter. I don't use a whole much else. I do stream on Twitch sometimes at Pcol6754, which is also my Twitter. And I do have Blue Sky for just Pcol with no numbers. I need to get more into using Blue Sky, but I do have it. Yeah, there's Xenoblade Superbosses. Yay!
GG.
And I already did my shoutouts, so yeah, if you want to find me doing Xenoblade stuff, there's where you can find me.
That was an awesome, unique run with just the Superbosses there. Thank you very much for bringing that out for today. We're gonna take a short break, everybody. When we come back, prepare for the Sonic block. If you're gonna go anywhere, go fast. See you soon.